Hey there, everyone. This is the third time we're trying this daily financial update. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube. Jump into the numbers, and first thing I saw was McDonald's kind of top line that they missed on revenue, missed on earnings per share. That obviously made me pretty nervous. Right, I'm tracking the consumer, trying to figure out what's going there, and I was like, oh my God, if McDonald's misses, that's like, you know, the consumers are not spending at all, right? So I had to dig into those numbers. As it turns out, I am not as nervous. It looks like their competition, specifically Burger King, really had a good 90 days with the new menu items. And so King, the new non-meat meat. I actually haven't tried it yet. If you've tried it, again, leave a note below. Love to see if it's worth trying. Marketing noise for McDonald's, if you did, is they're investing in stores, and those kiosks and ordering are going to pay dividends for years, if not decades to come at McDonald's. So yes, if machines become the standard order takers, um, the McDonald's that we all go to, and when I was young, won't be there in years to come. So changing. Next up, Biogen. Biogen seeing a nice pop today because it is submitting paperwork for. First, let me say I hope it never impacts you or anyone that you care about. That one scares me. I'll have to admit. So, but I do find it odd because when you click into the article, which I knew nothing about, I'm like, oh, that's good news. Let's see if we can start helping people. It talked about the drug, in that they actually came in, and now they're going to be submitting paperwork. So yes, kind of two options, right? Maybe there really was new data, and now the data looks positive, which again I hope it does, because Alzheimer's needs to be fixed. But the other thing I'm looking at this is, like, could this be like Boeing, right? And to relate this to Boeing, if you've been tracking that, we talked about it. Their employees have felt pressured to look the other way or say the ended. If it's true, right? Those two horrible plane crashes, and now the ground not flying. Um, so I'm wondering if this may have happened at Biogen, right? They have a I don't know. I guess I call it a weak pipeline for new drugs, and their patents on their old drugs are falling off. So my hope is, um, it's real and we can get a handle on this disease, because it is, again, I'm just like, stock gets hammered, you sell, you're off to something else, and 5 weeks later they go, oh, just kidding, and now you get a 40% pop. Man, that would drive me crazy. Then we got to talk about the repo market. If Basically, the repo, or the overnight lending from banks to banks, is not functioning as normal the last 6 to 8 weeks, and frankly, the reasons why that I read scare me. They kind of feel like excuses almost made up. End of quarter taxes, and things that seem very predictable. And again, I don't claim to know the inner workings of the overnight lending market. I know like 0.5% of that, so I know nothing. However, we had back in, remember when the money markets were getting kind of into the news because they're supposed to be safe investments, and then like a big hedge fund or a fund blew up and had to be taken over. This kind of feels like that, right? Where there's smoke, and then out of nowhere something broke. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, because again, if it's truly quarter in taxes. And next up, we got to go to SoftBank, or specifically WeWork. Um, Man, I think we nailed this one, talking about it, right when it started getting going IPO. Looks like forecasted at 40 billion. Now is going to be taken over at less than 8 billion. SoftBank's going to be throwing in about $5 billion in cash, it looks like. Um, the great tragedy in all of this is it looks like the founder of WeWork is going to walk away with $1.7 billion, and I think that's tragic. System, right? It selling just doesn't sit well with me. I do not mind success. I do not mind people being rewarded for tackling things. But I when I see an approval, and actually they're talking about, which is interesting. A lot of it boils down to plant closures. The UAW was really hoping to save some plants. There was actually 4 scheduled to close. They saved 1, but the other 3 are still going. And we're going to see, right? If that doesn't get approved, this could get ugly for quite a while. It has to be a supermajority or something of that peak of birth are right. It's hard for me to believe that kind of the midpoint of the millennials, which was 1990, they've been delaying expenses. They had student debt. They're not getting married as early as past generations, but I should say they may start a little later. I'm not a millennial. But the once the cycle starts, coupling, kids, it kind of so we're blamed for everything. But again, I think of us are the one behind us, and for the most part, people are people, kids are kids, and it's nice to see that somebody's actually patting them on the back and saying some nice things. So I thought that was fun. So that's the daily update. Looks like we got through in our third attempt. I thank you for watching.